Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Green Dog Podcast. It is a new year. It is 2026, and it's me, your host, co-host actually, Jacob Prale, alongside the college football savant, earned that title this year, grinded for that title, Hunter Malone. Hunter, rocking the U, feeling great. He's on cloud nine. Where do we want to begin with you, good sir?
I would like to shout out the LSL and Lady LSL for creating our trophy. Very unexpected, last second put together. It's super glittery. This side says Green Dog Podcast. Obviously, our logo on the bottom says champion. This thing is awesome. Have to give a shout out to her. Where do we start? CFP.
Yeah, I mean, we've been off the grid for a little bit here. Uh, Holidays, everything coming up. Evan's got, school going on. Is Mikey, for those who know. So we've been off the grid. We apologize. At least I do. I don't know if Hunter apologizes, but
Take
I
holiday
apologize.
offs here. I mean, we're not getting paid.
Yeah,
This
we
is for
took the
fun.
holidays off.
We take holidays off.
We take holidays off here. But listen, the first round of the CFP, I don't think anyone was like shocked by any of the results. Miami, Texas A&M was probably the only game that like had some real gravitas towards it. And man, you can agree that game was shit. That was not fun to watch,
Not
but
real.
God, but it was a great. That's where we're gonna start. Just to get a little recap, right? That game was incredible in terms of the defensive side, and Miami really showed his prowess. Punched their ticket, obviously, into the second round. That's where we're going to begin here, right? Let's start with the Friday night game. Yours truly, Miami, against the highly vaulted Ohio State. I believe they gave Ohio State, what was it, 7.5 points on the spread by
It was
kick?
something like that. Something
It
way
was
too big that I greedily took Miami's side.
so
I
a
took the
lot of
plus
people.
money all day. Very
So
happy.
a lot of people thought, obviously, that Ohio State was going to run away with it. The plethora of talent that they had, I think, for most of us, felt that way about Ohio State. But obviously, Jesus, I
There's some
look
people
away.
like me that are real ball knowers.
I look away for 2 seconds, and he breaks out a full football helmet.
It's got the little thingy inside. Otherwise, I'd keep it on.
Hunter, talk to me since this is your team. Before I give, the clear-headed caveats, not caveats, but the clear-headed analysis that I provide. Give us your unfiltered, unadulterated, biased take. Not take, but talk to me what you saw in that game.
All to ass. What everybody else saw. Domination in the trenches on both sides of the ball. Offensive line doing whatever they want. Mark Fletcher being a beast. You got four running backs that can really do that thing. Jarmar Brown scores a touchdown later in the game. It really was just belt to ass, and you knew one of the two wide receivers was going to do their thing. You can't contain Jeremiah Smith too much, but what you can do is be physical with him, press him, get him off of his spots, uncomfortable. And Julian Sand, I told you months ago, is a one read quarterback. It has to be timing. He doesn't throw the ball more than 10 yards. And we sniffed out that little screen. We saw that bullshit and took it to the crib. I was screaming. I was jumping up and down when that happened because I told Evan, I said, watch, they're going to jump one of those little screens or hitches because he does not throw the ball. And he jumped that thing and took it to the crib. Very happy, very proud of those boys. They've been working hard. And one thing that I noticed from the Miami games and other games, Miami popped pads. They hit. You heard against Texas Tech or Texas A&M, bang, popping pads. Against Ohio State, especially, popping pads. It was it gets you fired up watching it when you just keep hearing the pads pop, bro. Then you got our mascot, Michael Irvin, not the Ibis. Michael Irvin going nuts. He's sitting there foaming at the mouth, getting ready to go. I thought Michael Irvin was gonna track down, what was it, Scott that took it back? My goodness, he was going nuts. Ray Lewis going nuts, Edrin James, just having the whole like alumni like that coming back. No school has it like Miami. I'm gonna turn it over to you, but first,
Muffled, but he tried. No, I think from an outsider's point of view, I will say it was shocking that Miami did what they did to Ohio State. I thought Ohio State, talent wise, was one of the better rosters that I've seen. Obviously, you mixed in Cardell Tate and Jeremiah Smith. The defense for Ohio State was very, very good, and yet Miami took it to them. I'm not so much impressed by the Miami's offense. I always knew you had some juice, but that Miami defense, man, is nuts. That defense is nuts. Ruben Bain, I know he was great. He is otherworldly exceptional right now in these playoffs. He gets so much pressure on the edge that, and the thing is too, they got who's the other? I'm blanking on his name. His number is number
Mesidor.
3. Yeah, if you focus too much on Bain, the other guy can win one on one, and that's what they did against A&M. They had Julian Saint's clock jumbled. He didn't know when to throw. He didn't know who to throw to. He didn't have enough time to get anything processed. And again, it was one of the more shocking things to kind of see because, granted, you get a week and a half to kind of get ready for your opponent, but man, that month makes you rusty. And I think that's been kind of the case here as we dive into these other games. But man, in the fact that the defense for Ohio State just couldn't figure it out either to get to Beck, I think that's where Beck's strength really is coming through. Is that for a lot of these quarterbacks, the game is very large. The game was too big for Saint. It was too big for Morton, right? It almost was too big for Dante Moore at times, with the missing some of the easy throws, which we'll dive into later. But like Beck looks comfortable. He is not phased by anything, right? He's making the throws. He's trusting his arm. Shout out the Bears. And I've been really impressed with what he's done. I've been really impressed with Cristobal. And I'll tell you what, like you said, those boys pop pads. He gets them fired up. He gets them ready. And I love the way the defense has been playing for Miami. And if you're Ohio State, you're looking at this as a missed opportunity and a missed year. I saw a lot of pundits saying they're going to spend all this time trying to beat Ohio State, that they're going to choke in the playoffs, and that's exactly what happened. So, and again, I think it's also another testament to the conference realignment problem that we have, is that you're not, we'll dive into this with Tech here later. But again, obviously, I talked about how impressive Ohio State's defense is, and to play devil's advocate, they played a pretty mediocre middle of the Big Ten.
I didn't hear that. What'd you say?
Mediocre middle of the Big Ten. Listen, I can say it in hindsight.
Cupcake schedule?
I think it's the problem of the big conference, right? It's the problem with the large conferences that it's the Big Ten is so top heavy.
I agree with that. Absolutely.
So, we'll dive into Oregon and Texas Tech here. That Texas Tech, I've been saying it. I said it at the beginning of the year. We kind of expected Texas Tech to be better. We didn't expect them to be this good, right? At least I didn't. Part of it was I didn't really believe in Morton, the quarterback. And Morton picked a really bad time to turn into the Morton of the last 3 years. The moment was very big for Morton. The defense for Texas Tech, they deserve an MVP because that game should not be 23-0. That game should have been should have been 42-0. Oregon had every opportunity to score. They held the offense at bay. They got turnovers. The Oregon defense, though, part of it was Morton being not great with the ball and some uncharacteristic mistakes that you saw from a Tech team. But the corners for Oregon were legit. The defensive line was really solid, and they caused Tech to be in a ton of fits. But again, going back to the big conference thing again, before I let you jump in here, Tech, you watch the Oregon Hard Knocks thing, and Dan Lanning's like, these guys haven't played anyone all year. They played BYU, and they played them at home. He goes, we had to go on the road to Penn State. Say what you want. We played them in a whiteout game, 108,000 loud. Then we had to go battle against Indiana, the number one team in the country. Like, we had to go get ours. We've been tested. Texas Tech has not been tested. And say what you want about how you feel about BYU, but again, to the point, they really didn't play anyone until BYU. And granted, it's hard to beat a team twice, and they beat them twice, but I think, again, a lot of it says a lot more of how good the Tech defense was, but also the problem of how big the conferences are, that Tech doesn't really play anyone of significance in the Big 12 anymore. Like, I think they avoided Utah. You go ahead while I look it up.
You're right. They did avoid Utah. Obviously not their choice. You play who you play, but at the same time, you put belt to ass to everyone that you play. It's kind of the same thing for Indiana. They really only had one one difficulty up until the Big Ten championship. Conferences are too big.
Oh, no, they
Did they
yeah, they beat Utah 30-10.
early in the season?
Yes, September 20th.
Dampier play that game.
That I don't know.
Was that the game that Morton got hurt and then the backup quarterback came in and went crazy?
Yep, Will Hammond came in.
I do remember that game.
They lost to Arizona State, and then
That was on some craziness.
and then they choked. They beat everybody else pretty soundly. They beat the crud out of BYU twice, holding BYU to 7 points.
Yeah, I think coming from that and then seeing how Oregon played, kind of stumbling into the playoffs, it made me at least kind of gear towards Texas Tech for that. I knew the defense was good. I thought their defense was better than Oregon's offense, and I figured Texas A&M. I just saw them run down BYU's throat. I know Morton can throw the ball a little bit. I figured they'd find a way to get it done, and Morton decided to be shit. Now, Texas Tech put $40 million in the roster this past season. You knew
It's
they
also
were going
true.
to be good.
Yeah, that's
You don't
another
just
thing we
put
forget about.
40 million into your team and not make the playoffs. Like that's never happened. So we expected them to be good. I still believed in Baylor to win because talent wise, I really liked them both. But I thought Baylor just had more
You
of
and
the
me both.
experience. And
You and me
that was
both.
preseason. That was preseason when everything played out. Texas Tech said, "Hey, this is what 40 million do," and they've learned from their mistakes already. We see in the transfer portal, hey, we invested in everything but a quarterback. Well, this go around, how about we go and invest in the most important position? Let's go ahead
Number
and get
one.
the number one quarterback on the board, Brendan Sorsby. And you got to think with Sorsby getting all that money, calling Patrick Mahomes, I'm coming, I'm winning the natty. How sick is Dylan Raiola? That Sorsby's living his life. He wants that life so bad. He wants to be the one to be the next Patrick Mahomes at Texas Tech. But to be honest, I think he's going to end up at Oregon. But that Texas Tech Oregon game, it was shocking in the way that it played out. Just Oregon dominated from all facets, all three sides of the ball. Like I picked Texas Tech. It was 60 minutes. I never thought Texas Tech was going to win the game. It got out of hand and it never got comfortable. And the defense kept doing it, and it just couldn't anymore. And that was kind of the end of it. And obviously Oregon had JMU before in that round, so they had a nice little tune-up game. JMU did put 30 on them, which kind of made me feel better considering Texas Tech is a better offense than JMU. Granted, it was a lot of late scoring, but still, you give up 30 points to a team, it still says something about your defense. Granted, they scored 50, but like you don't just give up 30 points just to give up 30 points. But I think I think this upcoming game is going to be very interesting to see between Indiana and Oregon.
Yeah, I think going to kind of put a bow on the Texas Tech discussion, it was a perfect season for Tech. You spent the money did exactly what you wanted it to. Just unfortunately, you played the worst game offensively the entire season, and it just happened to be at the worst time for it to happen. And I don't know if, you know, Morton definitely was a big problem, so getting Sorsby is definitely going to be a big help. But Morton was also pretty banged up. He wasn't exactly fully healthy. It still doesn't excuse the throws. The running game was not great either. But overall, pretty solid for Tech and a great year for Texas Tech as well. Let's jump to Indiana, Alabama here. Alabama got their shit pressed. Is there anything else we need to talk about?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, no, go ahead, go ahead.
beforehand, I mean, how you got here? You were down 17 to Oklahoma, and if there's a will, there's a way. You willed yourself back, got all the momentum, went ahead, and just crushing defeat if you're Oklahoma. You go and get Mateer, Ben Arbuckle. The defense looked great all year. Offense just, it looked like they put it together. And then
They
same
did it.
offense we saw all season post the injury from Mateer. Um, there's a couple throws from Mateer that I'm like, set your feet, stop slinging it, like side arming it, just lazy throws, wide open receivers he missed early. The punt that got dropped that really was the whole momentum shift. Was that third down? He throws it sidearm, lets it sail, wide open receiver for 6, doesn't catch it. Next play, drop punt. There's 7 points on fourth down, huge fourth down for Alabama, and it really from that moment was Alabama's game. They come in, still can't run the ball at all. Jam Miller, horrible running back. I've never seen a Division 1 running back run straight up and be successful, and he's proven that you can't fucking do it. It makes me so nuts that he just hits a pile straight up. Lower your shoulder, lower your head, get low. You'll move some piles, you'll move some people. Um, they can't run the ball at all, and it showed what happens when you play a really good team that can play on all 3 sides of the ball, what they'll do to you when you are one dimensional. And Indiana put absolute belt to ass all 3 facets of the game and simply just showed Bama they didn't belong.
Yeah, I think Indiana, the offense in Mendoza worked in precision. The run game, like they were getting every time I like looked, because I also because the score got out of hand, I was like looking at my phone. It was 7 yards a carry, 6 yards a carry, 5, 8, 7, 4, 6. Like it just keeps adding up. And Hemby was really good. Omar Cooper had a touchdown. And the one thing I love about Mendoza right now is not only because in the first part of the game he was kind of shaky. Part of that, I don't know how much of that is obviously the weather. Don't know what that what that like grass condition was like because it basically poured rain the entire day. But he had some good throw. He had some really good throws to start. He had the one touchdown where the tight end had to go up and jump for it. But he had that throw to Omar Cooper, and it was only where Omar Cooper can get it. He diced up that Alabama secondary, and that's saying a lot because they put Mateer in fits with a pick six and what they did. And it looked shaky because Mendoza was taking a couple sacks to start the game, but he settled in. He made some good throws. He did what he did best. He was 14, I think he was 14 to 16 for 3 touchdowns. And then when you look on the defensive side, man, these guys, like the front seven for Indiana, if you think you get out of one tackle, there are 3 more dudes within a half yard going to blow you up. Like it is like it was a 4th and 1 or whatever, and the one guy bounces off the first guy and he tries to dive for it, but there's 4 Indiana Hoosiers just creating a wall of crimson,
Warm the
right?
ball.
And it to me was what was impressive is like as much as it's like Alabama really struggled offensively, the defense for Indiana really, really showed how good they are. They've shown it in multiple points of the year when you watch them in critical moments because they can get after you, they can stuff the run, they have good secondary, the linebackers are legit. And I was just super impressed. And Signetti looked pissed, man. Signetti was up 35. Like the Roman Empire has fallen with Alabama, and you're mad because you haven't put up more points. Like, love it.
Somebody missed an
Signetti is the
assignment.
new
It don't matter. I'm pissed.
yeah. Signetti's low key kind of like Saban right now because
Came from
it's
the
like
Saban tree.
Saban tree.
I mean, both those wide receivers, I think, got over 80 yards from for Indiana. Both of them did their thing. Like you said, Hemby had a great game. It really was just a complete game by Indiana.
Let's talk about the highlight of our evenings on New Year's Day. Ole Miss, Georgia, an absolute cinema classic. This game had it all. Had it all. Had everything you wanted. Right? You had a good first half, and then you had Georgia doing what they do best, which is they run the ball, manage the clock, rely on the defense, get some stops, let Gunner do something, let him make some throws, go up by 10. And that to me, I felt like, okay, this is it. I'm not going to say going up by 10 is by no means like a dagger shot, but the way Georgia was playing up until that point, I was like, this is going to be the same game from, what was it, like week 6, where there was a shootout. And we basically got that in the second half. And
Yeah,
then
Ole Miss
Trinidad,
was in the lead in the first game and choked it away. They were up by like 10, I think, as well, 9 or 10. And then Georgia came back and stole one.
and then you got Trinidad Chambliss channeling his inner Johnny Manziel, running 20 yards behind the line of scrimmage, curling from one side of the field to the other side, and rips it to the check down running back. Like, I believe it was Lacey, rips it
Mhm.
down to Lacey, and it's like, wow.
Lacey
And he
had a hell of a game.
had a hell of a game. And Chambliss did that 3 times that saved Ole Miss on that drive. He was sacked 3 times, but he evaded the rushers. Georgia, like, there's nothing you can do. You're at the mercy of whatever Trinidad wanted to do. And then he started the fourth quarter, 13 straight completions. The run game for Ole Miss was super effective. And then when Georgia got the ball back, when you needed to go make a timely drive, the Ole Miss defense came up with a stop. And man, when we thought that was a dagger, because then Ole Miss went up, I think, a touchdown, right? Or a field goal. They went up, they scored a touchdown towards the end of the game.
I think it was a field goal, and then Georgia got a field goal, and then Ole Miss came down like 50 seconds left, kicks their field goal to win the game.
No, there was something where I texted dagger because it was Trinidad Chambliss because Ole Miss, like, I thought Georgia was dead in the water. Georgia had to like climb back out of it. Hold on, let me pull it up. Let's get this right.
Yeah, I thought you jumped the gun too early, and I was like, oh, there we go. Georgia's going to come back.
No, I mean I jumped the gun early, but that's what it felt like. It felt absolutely like a dagger. Here we go. Fourth quarter.
The Wallace touchdown to go up 10.
The Wallace touchdown with about 9 minutes left after the Kyron Lacey, touchdown, and then that happened 2 minutes later. I kind of thought I thought Georgia was kind of dead, but give Gunnar Stockton credit, man. He marches him down. They score right away. They get the ball back again, marches him down. Woodring kicks a 24-yarder, right? And again, we get to the end here, and they run man coverage. Guy gets beat, gives up 70, gives up like 45 yards on the play, puts Ole Miss in field goal range. And then here's the thing. There's no solace, I think, for Georgia fans because if they got to the 45, that kicker's making that. He's making 65 yards that night. He was unflappable. He was making it like he kicked, what was it? He kicked a 56-yarder and it had plenty of leg on it. And I was sitting there, I was like, oh my God, if this comes down to a field goal, they only got to get to like the 42-yard line because he can launch it. So I don't know. Georgia played a great game minus a couple hiccups, and unfortunately, in a game like that, you can't have hiccups. That's what it ultimately came down to.
Yeah, it's just going to come down to who had the ball last. And fortunately, you gave gave Ole Miss the ball with 50 seconds left, and I think they threw an incomplete pass on third down or something instead of just killing the clock and kicking the field goal. You preserved that time. There's a lot of things you go back and double check, but I mean, or kind of hindsight's 2020, look back and do some things different. But I always felt like I had seen Georgia the past 5 years win those games. I just watched it all year, so never once did I think that Ole Miss was going to win this game until that kid. I was like, oh, this field goal, he's going to shank it, and he smoked it middle with plenty of distance. I was like, oh, that's not how this is supposed to go. And like in my head, I was like, man, if this is like the NFL, the script writers are gonna have Georgia against Carson Beck. Like, what's going on? But there are no script writers in college football. Kid drills it, and then they did some fuckery with 7 seconds left. End up launching that shit in the end zone for a safety, and that was all she wrote. Then the weird onside kick. Gunner can't throw the ball 70 yards. That was weird.
It was all different types of weird happening there. Trinidad Chambliss, man, unreal. Unreal game. You just became a household name in the houses of Mississippi. I thought they were great. I thought he was. I thought, and the thing too is that Ole Miss defense really stepped up in the second half. Really stepped up in the second half, especially the defensive line. The corners were all over the place, man, because like they just kept getting flagged. They just were not clean and crisp. And unfortunately, like if you try and do that against Miami, I'm not really sure how that's going to go for you. So let's go ahead and let's dive into kind of who we see happening. What games on Thursday and Friday due to the NFL taking up Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Who's the first game? Is it Miami Ole Miss the first game?
Miami Ole Miss is on Thursday. That is the
Yep.
first
So
game.
first game, Miami Ole Miss. I mean, something's got to give, right? Something's got to give here. It's either they're going to cause a lot of problems for Trinidad Chambliss, or Chambliss is in turn going to cause a lot of problems for Miami. I think when you look at these teams, are very evenly matched. Very evenly matched. You got Carson Beck, who's tried and true, knows what he's doing. You got obviously Fletcher. You got Malachi Tony. The defensive line for Miami is really, really great. But then you're looking at Ole Miss, and the Ole Miss Trinidad Chambliss, what he just did, and just finding the right guy open at the right time, using his checkdowns, going through the progressions, getting through everything with like whatever he has to. And I don't know. I don't know where I'm leading yet. I don't know where I'm leaning yet, but I don't know. It's hard after what you've seen from both teams. You don't want to you want to pick both teams to win because they're really fun teams to watch.
Would you say Byron Brown, quarterback for USF? He's pretty elusive, right?
Huh?
Game
He said
changer, runs the ball, big arm, makes insane plays. Would you agree with me with that statement?
the nth degree, yeah.
Yeah. And Kevin Jennings from SMU, you would say
He's
he's
pretty
pretty
elusive.
elusive.
Pretty
He's
elusive.
big arm, very
Not too.
talented.
I don't
Maybe
love his accuracy, but yeah, talented.
Marcel Reed, very elusive. Potential
Very elusive.
Heisman. And what about Virginia Tech? Kyron Drones. He's pretty elusive. Good
Yeah,
arm.
yeah,
You
I
see where I'm
spam.
going? Miami's seen four of these motherfuckers already and bottled all of them up. The front seven and really all 11 swarm to the ball, get after it. We're fast. We're not hitting you with some standard. We're hitting you with exotic looks. You've got Lightfoot, who can not only cover your number one wide receiver, he can go and hit the line like an end and blow up your line, and then he can play linebacker. You got somebody that can literally play everything at a high level, an explosive level, and he's not even a full time starter. I think the defense is too good, too just insane. You don't think Corey Weatherholt's got something for his ass? That good, that coordinator, give him whatever money he wants, and then some. I mean, the job he's done, the depth that he's added to this team has been the difference between them just probably being a 4-game loser, not let alone 2, and being in the playoffs and being this far. Without that defense, they probably lose at least 4 games. I mean, you also have Old Miss, who's now losing all of their coaches but one. You've got the coordinator, the offensive coordinator's coming back, and then you have a bunch of analysts. It's you're jacking everything up. Or movement. It's too much movement. You're causing more distractions. Plus, you're in the middle of portal season, which we've already heard from Indiana coach Kurt Signetti and Dan Lanning both be like, I had to cut some of my prep because I'm hosting kids for breakfast. I gotta stay late tonight so I can watch film on these guys and get everything. Like, we're in the middle of such a craziness. The advantage has to go to Miami. When it comes to this, defense, special teams, and quarterback play is what's going to get you through. And Trinidad, yes, he just won the Division II Natty. He has experience, but you have a 2-time Natty winner on the other side. Like, Carson Beck is the most experienced quarterback, and out of all the top 30 players that got paid, he's the only one left. There's a reason why you paid that dude. With the way the line's looking, Malachi Tony, he doesn't even have to carry everything. Miami's offense has gotten healthy while we're going through this. Nobody's bailed on us to go in the transfer portal that plays. With Ole Miss, there's a lot of turnover, a lot of distractions, and they already started talking. Plus, Lane was talking early in the year saying how we play a cupcake schedule, this and that. You don't think that's not bulletin board material already? I don't care if you left. That's still Ole Miss is talking shit. So 2 teams talk shit about Miami, and now they get to enjoy the game Thursday. Ole Miss is talking shit. They'll get to enjoy the game Monday. I have my bracket Miami, Indiana. I was a believer then, firm believer now. How do you see it, Jay?
I think for the sake of the bowls, because I'm what, down one, down two? I don't know what I'm down.
You're down 2 with 3 games left.
That's weird. The ESPN bracket says I'm down one.
It's because it's missing the Xbox Bowl.
That's right. That's right. That makes a lot more sense now. Down two, so I have to be different. Like I gotta go Ole Miss. I do think Indiana's gonna probably beat Oregon, so I'm gonna probably stay with Indiana. But in terms of trying to win that, try and win the pick'ems. But in terms of like analysis, Ole Miss, man, they've impressed me. When you think they're dead, they're not. Trinidad Chambliss, like I thought the same thing you kind of thought. Like he was going to get bottled up. He was being bottled up, but then push came to shove, and he made magic. I think the Miami defense is so juiced right now that it's like hard pressed to go against that. But even when they weren't doing well against the Georgia defense, they stayed true to who they were, and things opened up. I think the Ole Miss defense can probably do enough to get them out of some bad spots potentially. I don't know. These teams are super even on paper to me. And, you know, after what I saw of Trinidad Chambliss, man, it's hard pressed for me to not go against this kind of destiny run that Ole Miss feels like they're on right now. Your
Tell you
head coach
this.
leaves. You like you said, they have all this turmoil. It hasn't stopped them. Yeah, they got some dudes leaving, but like the OC is still there, and he'll go to LSU when they're done. But I think a lot of these guys kind of want to stick it to Lane. They have an immense pride for not only themselves but the University of Ole Miss. And I'm not saying the people at Miami don't, but I think the Lane Kiffin debacle being what it is, I think has kind of galvanized Ole Miss in a way that feels very destiny like. It's like sticking it. It's like Major League when they stick it to the owner, and it's like she wants us to be terrible, and we're
And
gonna be
that's
great.
not Miami. They weren't even supposed to be in it. You didn't even win your conference. Notre Dame's supposed to be here. The fuck are you doing here? Go to Texas A&M and die.
No,
100,000 M fans screaming at you. You ain't getting past them. And then you limp and stumble out. You're going to get swallowed by the Buckeyes. Guess what? They put the S in suck eyes and they beat that ass.
No, I think, but the thing is, Miami didn't lose their head coach to like Ole
Even
Miss.
worse, they lost 2 games to
I mean,
two
Ole Miss,
teams that you were screaming are horrible, awful. These teams suck. And now it's
Ole Miss lost two.
they
Ole
lost.
Miss.
They lost to SMU and Louisville, 2 teams that won their bowl games. They're pretty good, you know. They're
I did not say that. What are you talking
they're
about?
they're all right. That's and it,
I don't think.
before you were like they're terrible. Those are 2 losses. They don't belong here. Looks to me like they belong here.
I don't think Miami should have belonged to the playoff, unfortunately. But guess what? I'm not in the room making that decision. I'm not in that room. I'm not in that room.
When it comes down to this, it comes down to quarterbacks and coaches and defense. What coach do you think will make the right adjustments? Mario Cristobal, been there, done that, won a natty as a player at Miami with all the pride and joy that he has, or some defensive coordinator playing head coach? What
I think
quarterback's going to get the job
I
done?
don't think
One
I
that
don't
has
think
two
I don't think we
natties,
can
or the
talk
one that
about
just showed up?
Cristobal is also the same dude who, when he had a chance to kneel the game out, chose not to and then ended up losing on a fumble. This is the same guy.
This is 2 years ago. We can't grow. He also
I think.
won the Rose Bowl multiple times with Oregon and won the Pac-12. Let's not forget that.
Listen, I'm not. Listen, Cristobal at some point was always going to Cristobal. It happened.
He did.
But the thing is, he got it out early. So I think he knows what it takes. I'm not disagreeing with that. I just like Ole Miss in this game. I just think Trinidad Chambliss is going to find the magic again. I think the run game for Ole Miss will be consistent. I don't think they're going to abandon it. I like Lacey and the dual threat ability that he has, right? And whenever they needed the big catch or a big throw, Chambliss has made it and the receivers have come through. The only thing I'm kind of leaning towards on Miami, the defense scares the shit out of me. Because you got Ruben Bain on the edge and they're playing South Florida football. So no one can hear your music, unfortunately. Let's
You
dive into
sound better.
Indiana. Let's dive into Indiana, Oregon here. Indiana, Oregon rematch from when these two teams played in a very, I believe the conditions of this game was like terrible. I think it was like rainy, poor, typical Oregon weather, whatever you want to call it. You got Oregon and Indiana rematching from their week 6 or 7 bout.
Feels like it's since
30,
then. 30-20.
yeah, 30-20 at Oregon. Dante Moore was 21 to 34 with a touchdown. Mendoza was 20 to 31 with a touchdown and then one interception. Hemby had 70 yards, 2 tutties. Surratt had 121. And Benson had 44 as the leading receiver for Oregon.
Those chickens.
This game, the first time they played was very, very close. Very, very close. The score may not show it because it was a 10-point win for Indiana. But, I mean, these teams had a scratch and claw, and the Indiana defense found a way to win, right? They went on the road to Oregon in a tough place to play with the weather not being good and found a way to scrape out a win. And that just has really impressed me since with Indiana. But it is hard to beat a team twice. Alabama, righted their wrongs. Ole Miss righted their wrongs. Like the only team that really didn't get to right their wrongs was BYU because they lost to Tech both times in championship and in the regular season. I don't know. I'm leaning towards Indiana. I think they're a very complete team. I think Signetti doesn't care that it's hard to beat a team twice. I think he's going to get the best out of his guys. I think Mendoza is going to play some really great football. I think we're going to see some of the best quarterback play from Moore and Mendoza, your potential first and second overall picks. And while the Oregon defense has been really impressive, I think Mendoza in the run game and the defense for Indiana is just going to make timely stops, timely plays, and some guys are going to come up with big catches in big spots to really put Indiana in a position to succeed.
Yeah, I mean, the big thing with this is going to be whoever wins the turnover battle. Indiana won the turnover battle 2-1 last game, or last time they played, and it was at Oregon. So you went into their house. Now it's going to be a neutral site game here in Atlanta for the Peach Bowl, right? It's a Peach Bowl. So they're here in Atlanta, much further of a drive, or I should say, a flight from Oregon than Indiana. That being said, I don't know how crazy it'll be in that stadium. I wish it was home. I wish all of these games were home.
I mean, Miami and Ole Miss are on opposite, like, but like they should have flipped the bowls geographically. Like Oregon and Indiana should be in the Fiesta Bowl, and Ole Miss and Miami should be in the Peach Bowl.
You would
Like
think,
imagine how electric Atlanta would be with Miami and Ole Miss in Atlanta,
yeah, that's kind of like in the middle, which is
right in
sick.
the middle. Get it? Indiana kind of gets screwed because that's like technically further for them to travel to the Fiesta Bowl, but the Indiana fans have never experienced anything like this, so they're traveling wherever.
They're just happy to be there. And I mean, I think if it's home, it's just a different atmosphere. I
The
said it
Bloomington would be
earlier.
nuts.
If all the games were home, except for the championship game we play at the Rose Bowl, what better way to have it? But that's not how it is. We got to go to Phoenix, or they got to go to. Sorry, I'm on this game. We're on the other game. They got to go to the Peach Bowl, and man, I think they saw Mendoza at probably his worst game, and you're not going to get another one of those. Dante Moore, I think, showed his true colors in that game. He's not going to sling it. He's not going to hurt you over the top, really. I've seen him miss a lot of throws wide open, deep, and Mendoza's not going to do that for you. I mean,
Mendoza is one of the best pure pocket passers I've seen in college football in the
like
last
Dante
maybe
Moore is
two,
he's
3 years.
reverted back to being his scramble, unnecessary scramble, more frantic style than we saw him in the beginning of the year. Very comfortable in the pocket, sliding. He's not doing that. And with Indiana, this is going to be, you already know, he's already felt the Indiana pressure. So interested to see how this goes. I think Indiana should be more aggressive, play underneath, force Dante Moore to not only throw the ball deep, but force that offensive line to protect you for instead of 1, 2, 3 seconds max, make him protect for that 5 step drop, wait for those go routes or a deep post to develop. You gotta block me for 5, 6, 7 seconds. I don't think you can do that. If Indiana does that, I think they'll be very successful. And in the rematch, I love Indiana in this. I don't think Oregon will be as competitive in game two as they were in game one.
So we both got Indiana there, and I'm taking Ole Miss. You are taking Miami. Let's talk a little transfer portal here. Movement is the name of the game. I believe before the portal opened, there was over 2,000 athletes in the portal. At this current moment in juncture, there are over 4,000 players in the portal, and I think it accounted for over 30%.
I believe if you include all Division 1 athletes, I think it's 6,000, if
I'm
I'm
just
not
talking
mistaken.
football.
Yeah, in football, I think it's 6,000 players,
Yeah.
if I'm not
You're,
mistaken.
you're looking at over 40% of college football players are finding a new home.
And JUCO's been open. Division 3 just wrapped up the other day.
See it
FCS, the
is
Natty is tonight, which Montana State's up 21-7, 28-7. So a lot of those kids have already declared and decided to go. Division 2 has been over with. You know, the West Florida quarterback was looking at potentially reigniting with Florida. I don't know where he's going to land. But the biggest transfer portal news so far has to be Indiana.
yeah, I mean Indiana has been cooking on all cylinders. They got what is I believe he was rated the third number 3 quarterback or number 4 quarterback depending on who you look at in Josh Hoover. What an incredible get for Indiana, right? Getting a guy great arm, really precise, can run, can take hits and just plays the game the right way. They got Turbo Richards, um, running
Yeah,
back out
with
of BC. They got the number 2 and 3 defensive back. I think if I saw something like that, maybe.
with Sanks and Preston Zachman from Wisconsin, who was that Wisconsin defense was very good. the offense was just abysmal.
Really
They
bad.
were that bad. I got to pull out an SAT work.
I mean, Indiana's just doing what they do best, just reload and lock in. I mean, I think when you look at the portal, I mean, let's talk about where some of these quarterbacks at this current juncture have landed, right? We all kind of knew Maker was going to Oklahoma State. All of the North Texas players are gone to Oklahoma State. What a shame. North Texas was a great story, but they're all gone, all of them. And if it's not all of them, most of them. So they're all gone, right, to Oklahoma State. Maker's up over there. Sorsby committed late last night to Texas Tech for somewhere around $5 million, called Cody Campbell and Patrick Mahomes and said, we're going to go win a natty. And then Sam Levitt, a lot of movement to Kentucky. Don't know where this came from, but apparently Kentucky has FU money now.
I can
Will
explain
Stein,
that one.
he's unlocked, he's on money bags apparently for Kentucky. But Levitt was at LSU this morning, according to Pete Thamel last night. So we gotta see where Levitt lands. And we still got some pretty big fish in the pond still. You still got Lagway, you still got Raiola, you still got obviously Levitt still hasn't committed. Austin Simmons is apparently going to
Mizzou.
Mizzou. Don't love that move. We went
Not
from
at
a
all.
quarterback who couldn't throw to a quarterback who still can't throw.
But he's left-handed.
But he's left-handed. That's going to mentally mess him up.
He's gonna be. It'll mess you up when he's throwing the ball. When you're watching it at home, you're like, "Wow, hey, wrong side."
No, the Austin Simmons move, I don't. It's good. It's
Doesn't
whatever.
move me.
Doesn't move me. I was hoping for maybe a bigger fish.
I'd rather keep Bo. Who knows my system? A year in, I don't know why he left.
I think he's going back to Virginia Tech. I think he's reuniting with Franklin.
That would make a lot of sense.
So I think he's reuniting with Franklin. And yeah, I mean, the only saving grace is that the new OC came from Michigan, and they like to run the ball at Michigan. And we have Ahmad Hardy. So I would really like that to freaking pan out for once. But if Drinkwitz continues to do this BS where Ahmad Hardy rips off like a 30-yarder and then we pull him for 7 snaps in a row, I will still watch Mizzou games. But
Probably won't be on our pick'ems.
they probably will not be on pick'ems out of spite because I'm angry. Um, yeah, and you know what? Transfer portal move that I really like. That's kind of maybe a little under the radar. Maybe you like this. Colton Joseph,
Hmm.
Old Dominion going to Wisconsin.
I love that
I
move,
really like that move.
and that's I. I hinted at that. I think with Evan that Wisconsin will be a player this go around because before they had put so much money not in their roster but in their facilities. They have a brand new
Stadium.
indoor facility. It's beautiful, it's massive, and their biggest donor, I mean, anytime you have a huge donor giving you millions and millions and millions of dollars, you do whatever the fuck he says. This year, they not only backed Luke Fickle earlier, I want to say in December, they backed him, hey, we're going to give you this plus money. What I said that Clemson should do for Dabo and be like, hey, your buyout's 40 million. Here's $40 million. I want you to use that in the portal. We need you. They go give him a bag full of money, and he is doing business. He not only got Joseph, but he snagged a couple other players that I really like. And when talking about Indiana, you skipped over the biggest name,
Who did I
Nick
miss?
Marsh. Nick
Yeah.
Marsh, the Michigan State wide receiver, 6'3", 200 pounds. This dude is better than NFL wide receivers. I'm not understating when I say that. And there ain't no damn NFL wide receivers at TCU right now. Josh Hoover next year to Nick Marsh going ahead. And Indiana doesn't just recruit talent, they recruit production. What do you do? Are you successful? Are you efficient at your job? They did snag Brock Shot from Miami. You get Preston Zachman, very efficient. Just everyone they're snagging is like, I'm like, damn, he got the edge from Kansas State. I was really hoping he would go to Miami. I think Miami will get the Koi Parrish boy. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I got you.
Safety.
Yep.
He's hits. He's physical. The physicality, the way he plays, just fits that mold perfectly.
I think when I look at the portal, man, there's been a lot of movement. So much movement. I literally had to start following some people on three because I couldn't keep up with how much movement there was going on. Yeah, no, I think there's just so many big plays, so many underrated stuff. Like Cam Coleman is still out there. For 98% of teams, Cam Coleman is better than your number one wide receiver.
Cam
Actually, I'm gonna
Coleman's better
change
than
that.
NFL wide receiver.
I'm gonna change it. He's 99. Unless you are Ohio State, Miami. Yeah, those are probably the only two programs with better wide receivers than Cam Coleman. Maybe
I'd put
Alabama.
Tyson.
Alabama. Jeremy Bernard was really good.
I'd put
Really like
Tyson from Arizona State.
yeah.
That's a
Okay.
dog. He's gonna get. I mean, he's
He's a
going
first
in the
top 10.
draft.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Outside of that, like name me a better Cam Coleman just got wasted it at Auburn.
you knew that too. So dumb. Like I don't. Why would you
Money.
go there?
Money. That's why. The money speaks. Some of these kids they don't think about winning. They care about money. If you're not going to win, you might as well just get paid for losing.
Might as well get paid to get my ass whooped. I guess.
I mean, that's what UMass does when they play a big team. We take we played who did we play? We played Penn State and we're like, thank you for 2.1 million. We will lose by 60, but we thank you for your donation.
Yeah. The whole Sam Levitt thing. That whole.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie. I am staying far away from Sam Levitt if I'm a head coach. Like if I'm Miami and you like need a quarterback, I'm a huge fan of Luke Nickel. He's been in the system for a year. I want Luke Nickel to get the keys. I do not want Sam Levitt in my program. I told you, I said I don't have any confirmation of this. I think he got kicked out of the
yeah,
football
I've
team.
been seeing a lot of movement on Twitter that's kind of what happened is that Kenny Dillingham kicked him out of Arizona State.
It's got to be an ego thing. It's a head case. I make more like just, and he's a head case. And if that's the case, fuck off to Kentucky. Go to Kentucky, go get paid, and you're just going to be another Zach Calzada. And what's crazy is Kentucky now has money to spend in the NIL. They were strong arming Stoops because they wanted him out. They gave him nickels and dimes. Dimes might even be too much money for them to spend because you had to go and get fucking Zach Calzada from Incarn Ward and bring him to the SEC. I mean, you're shopping with Timu money. When we are at International Mall and everybody got Louis money, we got Gucci money, we got everything in here is expensive, and you got Timu money. There's a reason you got belt to ass. I think Chaz Coleman, he goes to Virginia Tech. Koi Parrish, that's what from. I'm literally looking at the logo. Minnesota.
I guess to kind of cap off some of this transfer portal stuff. I want to stay on the quarterbacks because ultimately, like we're in the weeds,
Crystal
right?
ball. Where is everyone going?
Yeah,
Where's my
crystal ball.
magic
Give me,
eight
give
ball?
me, give me. Start with the quarterbacks. Maybe give me some other big names that you're looking at that you're keeping an eye on, and then I'll give you mine.
I've got so quarterback position I have pulled up. Number one is Sam Levitt. I think Oregon. I still like. I've always thought Oregon for him because that's where he's from. He's from West Lynn, Oregon. Go play with the Ducks. They are gonna lose Dante Moore because he's gonna go pro, and I think that's why he hasn't firmly committed. And who's got more money than Oregon? Sure as fuck isn't Kentucky.
Yeah, I think for me, I think Sam Levitt's an LSU Tiger. I think
Mm.
that's I think that's the move Lane Kiffin wants to go with. I don't. A lot of people have been mentioning like, oh, it could be Lagway. I don't see
Mm.
Lagway staying in SEC competition, and I don't. If Lane's baking on Trinidad Trinidad's already came out and said he's going to stay at Ole Miss
Yeah,
if
just
he's
confirmed that
granted
today.
the eligibility. I think it's Levitt because
Know
I think
who has been tied to LSU? It's two guys that I've heard. Dylan Raiola,
okay, that would be
and I don't love that. And
don't love it.
Dylan Raiola has also been tied to Oregon, but the other one that I really like is Byron Brown because he is not enrolled in Auburn yet.
See,
I haven't seen anything on him enrolling or committed. A lot
I
of people
wasn't.
think he's going to Auburn.
I've been thinking he's going to Auburn. I kind of am like that's an open and shut case. But if it,
That's what I thought. But why would he still have everything open?
yeah, that's true. I like Levitt there. I like Raiola to Oregon personally. I think that's just a great fit for what he talent wise has. I think Dan Lanning can get more out of him than Matt Rule can. So I like Raiola going there, and I'm gonna stay on this train with DJ Lagway. And this one is very selfish because it would make my job a lot easier. But DJ Lagway comes home to Baylor would make life very great in Waco because we are not right now. The transfer portal is not doing wonders for us currently.
I, after hearing reports today, I'm switching off of the Baylor train, and I think he goes to Florida State. And I say this because one, Gus Malzahn, with that body of DJ Lagway, already told DJ that he is Cam Newton reincarnated. He's going to tell him everything he wants to hear. You're already in Florida. You know how everything is. You'll come to the SEC, look at our facilities. It's softer than the SEC, for sure. You got to have everyone telling him how great he is again, boosting up. He's a head case. And I think Gus Malzahn is an extremely good recruiter. DJ Lagway was grinning from ear to ear from his trip to FSU. And I think it's kind of funny, man. UF fired his coach, sent him to JMU. And if he goes to USF, that would be hilarious.
So
Or FSU.
I'm reading here from Bleacher Report. DJ Lagway visited with Virginia today. He visited with Florida State already and intends to visit with more teams as well. Pete Nakos of On3 says LSU, Baylor, and Miami were among the early schools to watch for.
No to Miami for sure. He does not fit the mold. Baylor, I think, would be the best place for him. Louisville
I'm not
just
even
got their quarterback, so that's
it's
not even an option.
I'm not even saying that because like I have no insight. Listen, for people thinking Jacob works in college athletics, Jacob has inside info. I got zero of it. That's not how my job works. Hunter has seen how my job works. I promise you it's not in it's I don't work with the football team. I don't work with the women's basketball team. I'm in my own bubble. Just had to clarify that for people who think like I have all this info. I just love Twitter and I'm on there too much. But
I think DJ Lagway, Texas boy,
his dad played
TCU got
here.
their guy already. A&M has their guy. Texas
Dad
has their
played
guy.
here.
TCU just snagged their guy.
Yeah, I think
Baylor's the only one missing.
I know. And listen, and to try and put, the thing lovely about college football is like everyone's super passionate about their fans and their fan bases and like, you know, I'm a Mizzou guy, open and proud of it. We're gonna do what we did last year, this past season. We're gonna be 8-5. If we go 9-4 because we win a bowl game, I'm cool with it. This is just gonna be the
You're
same
going to
thing
say overspend on a backup quarterback.
because we again went after a backup quarterback who can't throw, and we're in the same boat that we were in before. And somehow Drink thinks that like that's gonna push the needle. But guess what? I'm a sucker and I'm gonna watch Mizzou on Saturdays. But when you look at some of like Lagway, I've seen Virginia, Florida State, man, that's kind of a shocking move. Honestly, I think the Mike Norvell really needs that after the Castellanos debacle, but it doesn't. But did you say today that they got Ashton Daniels? Huh?
Florida State?
Yeah.
Florida State doesn't have anyone. I said Ashton Daniels makes the most sense to go to Florida State because Florida State doesn't know how to recruit and can't evaluate talent correctly.
I
My
think
exact words were, hear me out. Ashton Daniels to Florida State. Daniels, dog shit. FSU, dog shit. Together, they will be dog shit in all cap. Yeah, FSU doesn't know how to evaluate talent. I think even if they got DJ Lagway, cool. I love that they took away one of DJ's stars. They made him a 4-star now. That's petty as fuck. Same with Deuce Knight and Dylan Raiola. And Byron Brown is all of a sudden a 4-star, and so is Rocco Beck. And so is Hoover. Simmons was always a 4-star. I love how these just do that. Speaking of which, Deuce Knight, it's a Mississippi boy that was originally committed to Notre Dame before switching to Auburn. Committed to Hugh Freeze. Hugh Freeze jobless. I have no clue where he is going. He just went in the portal today, but I don't even have traction on him. Like I know Jackson Arnold's going to UNLV. I know Anthony Calandria. He's bounced. He's in the portal. I think he's also tied to FSU. Obviously, he's a St. Pete kid. So USF wouldn't be out of the question, especially with Brian Hartline. But Deuce Knight, I got no clue where he's going. Because Ole Miss is booked up, and Mississippi State, they've got their kid.
Yeah, I'm just reading On Three's predictions here for guys. 95.5%. Crazy.
Dylan
Yeah,
Edwards back
I
in
gotta,
the portal.
gotta
Originally
pay for all,
Colorado, went to Kansas State.
pay for all this crap. I don't want to pay for all this crap. Just give it to me for free, brother. Yeah, I'm looking here. It says Ashton Daniels prediction. This is 24/7 Sports prediction. Florida State. Hollywood Smothers prediction. Alabama. Jeremiah Bernard.
Notre Dame kid? Yeah.
No. Who?
The
Bernard?
Notre Dame backup quarterback, the one that
Yeah,
lost,
he went
he
to Nebraska.
says he's committed to Kentucky.
Hmm. Maybe it must have been a different Notre Dame quarterback that committed to
Crystal
Nebraska.
Ball, 100% Nebraska. Whenever you click on
Man,
his name.
there's some great.
24/7 Sports is tripping.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm reading here from 24/7 Sports right now.
Whoever gets Aiden Childs, you will lose your job.
Correct.
That's a quarterback that'll get you fired. Aaron Philo.
Why are there so many dudes in the portal, bro?
Aaron Philo will probably be the best quarterback in all of this transfer portal class.
Dude, I found my guy TJ Shanahan from when I stole him from Dom in the Dynasty.
It's like,
He's predicting.
fuck.
Where did he's in the portal, and his prediction is to Florida, and he played at Penn State. I thought it was a fake name.
I thought it was a fake. Damn, they put Jackson Arnold as a 3-star and buried his ass on here. Got him next to
Wait,
Walker White and Michael Van Buren. Billy Edwards. Dylan
where's Walker
Lonogram.
White? Where's Walker White going?
Walker White. Nobody. It's not tagged to anything right now. It just says he's leaving. Let's click on it. So he's an Arkansas kid. Little Rock. Arkansas has a quarterback. If I were you, dude, go get some playing time. Go to Arkansas State. Their quarterback just went Power 4.
Yeah,
Go
he
get
went
some
to
PT.
where did he go? The Arkansas State quarterback.
He went to Iowa State. He's a
Yeah, that boy's gonna sling the rock up there in Ames.
Let's see. Aaron Philo, I already said, will be the best quarterback in this draft class or in this transfer class. Lincoln Kineholtz, very
Aaron who?
underrated. I love
Aaron Philo. Georgia
Philo.
Tech backup?
Georgia Tech backup.
He went to Florida.
Followed the OC. He is statistically the greatest passer to come out of Georgia high school football. All of Georgia high school football. Aaron Philo is a fucking stud. Like, if I could put money and invest it in a player, Aaron Philo is who I'm putting my money in. Lincoln Kineholtz will be very good, especially with Jeff Brom. He'll finally get taught how to play quarterback. Cutter Boley leaving Kentucky didn't make any sense to me until I saw the news that Kentucky was spending a fuck ton of money on a quarterback. Colton Joseph, we touched on already. Luke Cromenhogan back in the portal again. he better go group of 6 or whatever it is. Group of 5. He ain't seen the field. Tavian Jackson, the TikToker, also a quarterback for UCF. He's in the portal. And they just snagged the JMU quarterback,
And Barnett.
Alonzo Barnett.
Yeah.
He's trash.
That's why he's going to UCF.
He's trash. And Taven Jackson, trash. Isaac Wilson, Zach Wilson's brother's in the portal. He better go to like Utah Tech. He trash. Air Nolan, speaking of trash, that kid, trash. I don't know why you went from Ohio State to South Carolina, but he's a Georgia product. Not very good. Should probably go to Georgia State if you want to play, or keep pretending you're good and keep getting paid on those 5 stars that you earned in high school. Justin Martin, he got pushed out. JC French. JC French is a very solid quarterback. Streaky. He's coming from Georgia Southern. Interested to see where he goes. Michael Hawkins Jr., the old Oklahoma quarterback, he went to Rich Rod in West Virginia. Interested to see why he went there. Arnold to UNLV. Dylan Lonogram, the fucking baseball player, he's going to Rutgers. And Rutgers just doesn't want to be good at football. I don't know why they don't want to be good at football, but they keep picking these bum ass quarterbacks to play for them. AJ Swan going to Mississippi State. That's the App State quarterback. Is that kid from Mississippi State? Is he a senior?
I have no clue. I wish I knew that ball knowledge like that.
It's like what's it, Ripken? Yeah. Yeah, he's a senior. He's already off of our lads' websites. They've got Luke Cromenhogue and Cairo Taylor, a freshman. So Luke Cromenhogue's gone. That means Mississippi State only has 1 quarterback, not including AJ Swan, who's coming in, and he'll start. I promise AJ Swan will start over this freshman, Camario Taylor.
I didn't realize that the FCS championship is held at Vanderbilt.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was just some like random field in Nashville.
They don't even have Nick Marsh as the number 1 wide receiver. My goodness. All right, so Cam Coleman makes sense. Amarion Miller it doesn't make sense for him to be over Nick Marsh. DeAndre Moore Jr. from Texas is not better than Nick Marsh. Reed Harris from Boston College. Be fucking for real right now. Darrell Gill Jr. from Syracuse. Be fucking for real right now, 24/7. What Isaiah Canyon is better than Nick Marsh? Really? That's what we're doing? Terrell Anderson's he's up there, but he's not better than Nick. I don't know where Eugene Wilson's gonna end up. That's a Gaither kid. He's from Tampa. What if he comes to USF? Goes with Brian Hartline?
I'm just trying to catch up here. This is some great podcasting right now as me and Hunter try and scroll through the 4,000 transfers to figure out where the hell they went.
Caden Durham, he hit the portal today. I saw that.
Dude,
he's
Colorado,
from Duncanville, Texas.
Colorado State transfer. Rocky Beers has committed to Oklahoma.
Yep.
Get a Rocky
He's
Beers.
tight end because we just lost ours.
Yep.
CJ Baxter.
Memphis is
Caden Durham goes to Texas.
Memphis true freshman transfer Antoine Hill has committed to Arkansas. Jalen went to.
You know what's sneaky that I like is Colorado. They hired the Sacramento State head coach to be like one of their coordinators or a position coach, and they've brought in some serious talent at the FCS level because Sac State put in all that money, invested all that, a very good team. And when they got denied FBS status, they're like, all the wind got let out. Everybody's bouncing to Colorado. Colorado might have some depth. I'm not saying they're going to win the Big 12 or anything, but I think they'll be better than before. And it'll be interesting to see what happens.
Trey Wisner has committed to Florida State, running back out of Texas.
I saw that. I texted you Hollywood Smothers to
Marquise Davis committed to Louisville. You can have fun being a backup. That's why you left.
Isaac Brown's back.
Yep.
Decided he wasn't leaving. He will absolutely
Baylor interior lineman Colton Price committed to Kentucky. He was ranked the number one interior offensive lineman. Can't even keep our
Brody
own guy.
Foley from Tulsa. He's the number one tight end available. Wouldn't be surprised if he ends up at Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State's not only getting the North Texas kids, they're getting the Tulsa kids and anyone else in that little region right there. They are plucking kids.
Man, I would love it if TCU got Harvard transfer quarterback Jaden Craig.
Mm-hmm.
Love it if Baylor could get a commit.
Baylor
Besides
have any?
we got like some kid from UAB, some O lineman. As at this current juncture, Baylor has 0 starters returning due to portal or graduation, I believe, is what I saw. Because Bryson Washington entered the portal the other day.
We'll have Pendergrass back.
Okay.
His start because he was out.
Listen, I love a shifty white boy, but
invest in your roster and go get DJ Lagway.
we're
You get DJ
trying.
Lagway, you could still pair him with. You could go and get Eugene. Or you can get Trey Wilson. You can get the Florida boys. You can get some Florida leftovers. Go ahead and get you Dylan Edwards.
Listen, I've just come to this realization that I'm glad I'm not a football coach because this stuff would suck. This stuff sucks.
Not if you can recruit.
You got to look at your team. You got to look at your team. Like, I don't even know how Coach Drew did it with his team. He's like, yeah, we got to find a whole new set of roster, new 13 dudes.
I would love
Insanity.
to do that.
Huh?
I would love to do that.
Hey man, find your niche. That's what Oklahoma State did. Or North Texas, they had this like really young GM who just knows how to evaluate talent and found different ways, and he was useful to a football team. And now he's going with the coach to Oklahoma State.
Yeah, man, let me do that.
Yeah, man, start out at some high school level. Go to like Plant. Just make them even more monster. Nah, go to Wharton and fix Wharton with your innovative.
Fix Wharton. I can't
back and
recruit
fix
at Wharton. It would be developing talent, not searching for talent.
Yeah, you got to go to like IMG. Start recruiting some like middle school kid.
Good Jesuit. Just talk to the head coach there. Hey, my friend Hunter can evaluate talent.
No.
He'll put together a roster.
He'll be like, yeah. He'll be like, yeah, pull up his tape. Hunter's gonna be like, yeah, that Bryson Washington guy. Pretty ass.
Now with me. I will be like, what do you name a position? I'll give you a dog. We can go snack.
Holy.
First call I'm making, DJ Lagway.
Listen, man, all I know.
Second call, I'm calling Texas kids. Caden Durham. Hey, come home. Make sure your mama's at every home game. CJ Baxter, they didn't love you. Now I got thunder and lightning.
Listen,
believe in you.
All I know is
how much money do I have is the real question.
Not a lot.
Don't expect wins. Poor Parker Livingstone. Go get that kid, man.
Sure.
Texas kicked him out because they want to go for a Nick Marsh, a Cam Coleman.
I wouldn't
they
mind
told that tall white boy, you ain't gonna start.
Yeah, I'd take a Livingstone. I'd take anyone. If you can catch a football, you got a spot on my team.
You're my wide receiver. I need you to block. How nasty are you?
All right. Now that we're just chatting here, we're going to wrap it up here. Slow down a little bit at the end. We're just getting back into it, people. All right, let us build up the stamina, the cardio. He has been the college football savant, Hunter Malone. Stay tuned to the Green Dog TikTok. He has a lot more in-depth breakdowns of everything happening than this, right? He kind of keeps it short for my small brain so I can not snooze off. Stay tuned to the TikTok. He's going to have a lot of stuff. I've been your co-host, Jacob Pearl. We have been the Green Dog Podcast.